With regard to Wray's comments on spying, he was actually responding to a question regarding the FBI's normal operations. Let's roll the tape and get the proof, but first we'll play Senator Shaheen first for the context.
I'd like to follow up on Senator Moran's question about the hearing we had with Attorney General Barr, because I was very concerned by his use of the word spying, which I think is a very loaded word. It conjures a criminal connotation. And I want to ask you, and I'd appreciate a yes or no answer if possible, when FBI agents conduct investigations against alleged mobsters, suspected terrorists, other criminals, do you believe that they're engaging in spying when they're following FBI investigative policies and procedures?
Well, that's not the term I would use.
Wray's comment was immediately seized upon by many in the media and led to claims that the FBI director had testified there was no spying in relation to the FBI's investigation of the Trump campaign. The public is clearly being misled. Let's get an example. Politico even led with the headline, FBI's Wray, spying is not the term I would use to describe Trump campaign probe. Just take a moment and note that Wray was actually responding to the everyday activities of the FBI, not specifically to the activities surrounding the FBI's counterintelligence investigation into the Trump campaign. But look, it doesn't end there. This is just the beginning today. I'm not done yet. There have also been a number of articles published claiming that Wray was publicly taking issue with Barr's use of the word spying, although that isn't what Wray actually said. Shaheen continued with her questioning, and Wray provided an answer that is getting little attention except for from us. Wray stated that he was less concerned with what the investigative activity was actually termed and far more concerned with the intent that lay behind the investigation, so actually behind it.
I would say that's a no to that question.
Well, I mean, look, there are lots of people have different colloquial phrases. I believe that the FBI is engaged in investigative activity, and part of investigative activity includes surveillance activity of different shapes and sizes. And to me, the key question is making sure that it's done by the book, consistent with our lawful authorities. That's the key question. Different people use different colloquial phrases.
This is the moment when the questioning took a turn. The questioning then shifted more directly to the FBI's investigation of the Trump campaign and efforts by the FBI to obtain warrants. At this point, Wray noted that there has been a number of unspecified warrants issued.
Did FBI agents get warrants for information as part of their counter-surveillance investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election?
Well, I want to be a little bit careful about what I can discuss here, but I think it's been publicly disclosed that there were a number of relevant warrants that were secured in the course of that investigation.
So what do we know so far? We know for sure that there was at least one FISA warrant on former Trump advisor Carter Page. There may have also been others as well. Former Trump advisor George Papadopoulos and former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort have both been mentioned as possibilities. Shaheen then asked Wray if the FBI spied on the Trump campaign. Wray was actually very careful with his answer. Despite the many misleading headlines claiming otherwise, this is the only place where Shaheen actually asked directly about spying in relation to the Trump campaign.
And do you believe, Director Wray, that the FBI and its agents spied into the 2016 presidential campaign operation?
Well, again, I want to be careful about how I answer that question here because there is an ongoing Inspector General investigation. I have my own thoughts based on limited information I've seen so far, but I don't think it would be ripe or appropriate for me to share those at this stage because I really do think it's important for everybody to respect the independent Inspector General's investigation, which I think this line of questioning starts to implicate, and I think it's very important for everybody to be able to have full confidence in his review.
Meanwhile, there seems to be at least a rhetorical split between Barr and his FBI director over whether the government spied on the Trump presidential campaign. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge shows us tonight.
Thank you for your presence here.
During a routine budget hearing, a Senate Democrat asked a wide-ranging question about FBI tactics, with the director avoiding the same spying language as his boss, the Attorney General.
That's not the term I would use.
I would say that's a no.
I believe that the FBI is engaged in investigative activity, and part of investigative activity includes surveillance activity.
Last month, Barr said spying occurred on the Trump campaign, questioning whether it was based on credible intelligence, leading to political pushback and a media frenzy. Last week, Barr stood by his choice of language.
I think spying is a good English word that, in fact, doesn't have synonyms because it is the broadest word incorporating really all forms of covert intelligence collection.
Am I the reason you get stoned every week now? Build up integrity, got you texting, emailing me, wanting me to feel with you. Baby, just face reality, move on. Sometimes it's hard to face reality.